His intention is that he wants something good to happen from this. Yes?
Isn't that concept of simcha very much what it feels like only at the beginning?
Can you explain the question a little more, please?
Explain the question?
Yeah, please.
You said simcha was something that's kind of, it's not a forced positive, but in a sense it sounded very close. Like it's like an optimism.
Right.
Despite the actual anguish that the person's still feeling.
Right.
Are you saying that that's it? That's what simcha means throughout the Torah? The concept that God created called simcha ends with that?
Does it end with that? It starts with that.
Starts with that. So you have to say that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Let's start with that. Yes, sir.
Rabbi, I heard what you said about simcha, and I've been trying like really hard. It's really, it's hard.
Right.
I think it's easier when, it's like winning lotto. I think that's only, you know, I try it. I don't know, do you got any tips?
Okay. First of all, you're right, it is difficult, right? In fact, Rabbi Nachman says to be b'simcha is one of the hardest things. Right? Occasionally, everybody is more cheerful than at other times, and sometimes people are in fact genuinely cheerful and optimistic. But to have this constant attitude, right, of joy and cheer and optimism is a real struggle. It's not something that comes from, automatically. It doesn't come overnight. But since you brought it up, maybe we'll take a slight detour. As I said, everybody, is familiar with this statement of Rabbi Nachman, mitzvah g'dol lios b'simcha tamid, right? So in the lesson in Likutei Moharan, in which that appears, the Rebbe goes on and talks about the 10 types of song, which many people know as it manifests in the Tikkun HaKlali, the 10 particular psalms that Rabbi Nachman prescribed to say, right? And the Rebbe relates the 10 types of song to the different types of pulse that a human being has. Right? But that's that particular lesson. And that lesson is preceded by a very short lesson. In the classic editions of the Likutei Moharan, it's preceded by a lesson that's approximately a half a column long. And in that lesson, the Rebbe says that a person has to transform yogain va'anocha, worry, anxiety, and pain, the various, depression the Rebbe also refers to over there, into joy and happiness. Right? So for a long time I wondered, why is the order so? First the Rebbe should tell me, be b'simcha tamid, and then tell me, now that you're b'simcha tamid, now go and transform. But after a while I understood that you can't be b'simcha tamid, you can't have a constant attitude of joy and optimism, of simcha, until you've practiced transforming the pain of your life into joy, right? Again, I think we talked about this last winter. Did we talk about it when I was here? Okay, maybe. All right, let's talk about it again if we did. If you ask most people, what is it that would make you happy? Right? So people, they talk about this, right? So they'll answer you, if I had a Lexus, my bills were paid, if I had a date Saturday night, if I was married, if I was this, and my kids were healthy, right? So basically, that's an answer that a child gives. I'll be happy if mommy and daddy give me a lollipop. Right? So we grow up a little bit, so the lollipop becomes something more sophisticated. But it's still, we're saying, I'll be happy if Hashem gives me what I want. Right? And if it doesn't give me what I want, I won't be happy. Right? So if you live like that, you probably won't ever be happy, maybe once in a while. Right? But what a person really has to do to be happy is, what Rabbi Nachman says, and this, I'll give the mashal, the parable that he gives. Right? a person comes to a celebration and the people are singing and dancing. It's a typical Jewish circle dance, right? And when a person is standing outside the dance and he's depressed and he's upset, and they grab her and they schlep her into the dance against her will. She's not interesting, don't bother me, I just want to be miserable, stand on the side. They schlep her in and they make her dance, right? He says, and then he says, and then they make her dance against her will, and they make her be happy against her will. Right? That's what he says. And that's a mushal, that's a parable for life. We all have problems, right? That's it. We all have problems. Nobody here doesn't have problems. All the people outside at the garden or wherever they are, you know, up and down this block, you go to the other boroughs, everybody's got problems, right? You have to schlep your problems into the circle, into the happy things of your life. Everybody's also got good things in his life. Baruch Hashem, we're all here, that means we're all healthy, we're all smart enough to spend a Motzei Shabbos in a shul instead of in a bar, right? So, I mean, we all have certain things going for us, right? Now, I have to take my problems and I have to schlep them into the dance of my life, and to make my life seamless, right? So that there's no difference, that just as, you know, just as my health and maybe my bank account, if you're one of the lucky ones with a healthy bank account, or whatever it is, just like those things, good things in my life, are good and enjoyable, right? So I have to incorporate the rest of my life into the same dance of my life, right? To be happy takes work. Hashem is not going to give it to you. He's going to give you some things, and then the rest is up to you, and to me, and to the next guy, right? And some problems are really, really, as we said before, like the Rebbe said, hell, right? You know, some people are in hellacious marriages, some people are, you know, have terminal diseases, besides the fact that we're all going to die, some are already suffering and seeing it, right? But even so, our challenge, and the human challenge, is to say, hey, I have emunah, or I'm trying to get to the point where I have emunah, where, you know, my marital status, where my cancer, where my bank book, you know, where all these things are reasons to be besimcha. Right? That there's something good in my suffering, as well as in my joy, as well as in the pleasure of my life. And that's the real challenge of emunah, right? I mean, it's very hard to accept that. You know, it's very hard to actually believe that a good, kind God would, you know, A, allow this to happen, and B, you know, let it happen to me. You know, if it happens to somebody else, okay, you know. I didn't get 100 years in jail, right? But the fact that it happened, you know, wow. You know, I have to like incorporate that somehow and deal with his pain as well, you know, and sharing it as my pain. But these are all things, you know, and, right? So the first thing to know is that if you want to be happy, you have some things already at your disposal that will help you, but you've got to do the rest yourself. You can't wait, none of us can wait for Hashem to make us happy, right? That lollipop is not going to be given so fast. To be happy, we have to work at it, right? And the second, you know, right, and the second tip is, which is sort of a fail-safe tip, is fake it till you make it, right? It's, the Reb Nachman says, you know, not so much pretend, again, this is something I've written in the book, not just pretend to be happy, but practice, right? You'd like to be happy? Practice. Practice, try it. You know, it's, you know, you may not, you know, be really good at it at first. You may only be able to be happy 5 minutes a day, but after a week you'll see 6, 7 minutes a day you'll be happy. And slowly, slowly, you'll get better at it.